The date is the 5th of March, 3307. Following our pickup of Commander Babster out by the Bubble Nebula, I gave instructions to the navigation crew to head out towards the next waypoint. The answer I got from them was, "What, now? It's super late, you know." I just told them, "Yep, go in that direction and keep going until you get there." I found out later, after I wake up from a well-earned sleep, I was obviously tired, the jump process is fairly noisy after all, is that they overshot the destination by a good margin. We were now orbiting yet another neutron star. This carrier is going to have all of the paint burnt off sooner or later at this rate. The fields around these things always seem to bleed through the hull. While apparently harmless thanks to the shielding, it is a weird feeling of having your hair move around as though you're walking or floating in zero gravity, but it isn't, if that makes any sense. Not sure it does. Anyway, as per usual, Babster and I got out exploring. At least that's the only feedback I got from the rest of the crew. Most of them might just be quiet, keeping themselves to themselves. So we went out in search for a place to park and to refuel. Like I said, being this close to a neutron star, it makes me feel uncomfortable. So we went out dancing a bit in the jets, jumping from place to place. That's when Babster actually called me over. He'd found some notable stellar phenomena. We converged to investigate and found what appears to be enormous crystal spikes. I've seen structures like this before, and it's pretty incredible that these structures can form in this way. It's likely it takes millions of years to do so, given that the only material out here is in the dust rings. After investigating a couple of these sites, actually, I saw something move in the shadows. Checking my senses, it appeared to be that it was biological in nature. It seemed to have been attracted to our ships, although it didn't harm us. Any kind of creature surviving out in near hard vacuum. Who knows exactly how they sense things? It has to be electromagnetic. I spent a while taking notes of what we found, and eventually got back to our search to find a suitable tritium mining spot. I feel that I was quite lucky, and after a quick stop off at the carrier to refuel and repair, I found a nice K-class star within a few jumps, which actually had a couple of tritium hotspots within the rings of a gas giant. An added bonus, or as it would turn out later, a pain in the neck, is that there is a shepherd moon orbiting just outside the terminator of the rings. This moon isn't quite aligned with the rings, so it will make for some really nice views. It passes just above and just below. So I gave the orders to move the carrier here, informing the crew of its possible hazard. The carrier has been parked here ever since. Since then, the crew has been out exploring the local stellar graveyard and doing a spot of mining too. This spot has got me thinking about the isolation. It's possible to get to the bottom of the galaxy, at least in this XY location, so you can look out and see nothing but gas and other galaxies. It's somewhat of a sombering experience. I've seen this a few times in my travels, at the very edge of the disk, and in places like this. It always gives me a sense of isolation, that although mankind has moved throughout this galaxy, we've explored hardly any of it, and yet we're still very much captive to it. Anyway, in our travels we've found a few interesting sites, we've made a good amount of profit from the data, we're definitely making up our upkeep this time, and yeah, we've found lots of locations with geological activity, twin planets, Earth-likes, water worlds, and yeah, even did a spot of mining. So then the question is, as normal, where to next? Well, I think we will stay here for another week or so, similar to our last location. I don't, however, this time think I'll put it to a vote. Speaking of the isolation and things that scare and confuse me, I think I would like to take us a little bit deeper into the galaxy, towards the bands of stellar graveyards that surround the bulge above and below. I kind of want to see a black hole, and larger stars which inhabit this region. I'll probably go back to the carrier though, and do some mining, pick up where the crew expended the tritium, and maybe give the orders next week. Might even get a chance to do a little bit more of a joyride, as you can see here. Anyway, see you all in the black.